Hey kids, welcome back to 396 Guitars. We have an Eastman, I don't know, what is it, an AR403ce. It's a hollow body electric. It's a really, really cool guitar. Let's get to work. It's in for a restring and a setup, but yeah, what a beauty. I mean, really nice. It needs a little cleanup. Of course, we're going to do all that. I am going to jump right in. And what we want to do is first make sure we're tuned up to pitch. I'm just going to use a big guitar. I'm going to try to pull back a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. Big guitar, big in size, hollow body. It's got some serious resonance for a hollow body electric. I mean, it's got as much resonance as a full-on, Martin acoustic. It's really quite nice. Let's just get her tuned up. It sounded like it was in tune. I was strumming it a little bit. It is. I want to measure first, as I always do. And of course, we're going to clean the frets and condition the board, wipe the guitar down, but I wanted to illustrate the guitar just because it's such a beauty. Yeah, just because it's such a beauty. Wow, big body. All right, capo at the first fret and finger the string at the body joint or 17th, whichever is closest. It's a short scale, looks like. Actually, that is dead on balls accurate. It's an industry term. You can look it up. I like that. Where is our string height? Ooh, really tall. Really tall for... Really tall on the bass side, just over 6/64, and right around under 5 on the treble side. The bass side's really high. Yeah, it doesn't need to be that high. The neck relief is exactly where I would set it, so we don't need to get in there. As I said, it's just a restring and a setup, but it doesn't really need a truss rod adjustment. At least with these strings, we are changing over to flat wounds, 53 to 12. So depending on what kind of tension they put on it, we may have to adjust it afterwards. But I'm just checking where we are to be certain when we start. This appears to be a floating bridge. I don't think there's anything holding it in position. We will know that more once. I don't think there is. I can feel it. There's just a rib there. So everything is a little bit sharp, not horribly so, but I think we need to adjust that. It's going to have to go back slightly, but that's part of the setup. With a floating bridge like this, it's similar to what you'd call a tune-o-matic. You can set up the bass side or the treble side up or down, but your intonation doesn't have individual saddles. The only way to set your intonation is to get the bridge and saddle assembly set where it needs to be here to dial in. And that can be a little bit of a trial because each time you need to move it, you need to loosen all the string tension, guess it where you want it, get tension back on it, make sure it's flat and flush, and then start over. But we'll get to that. I am going to de-string off of camera. and I'm going to wipe it down off of camera. I'm going to clean the frets off of camera and oil the fretboard. It's not terrible. We don't need to, show all of that. You can look at any one of 1,000 videos I have up. I do that in every restring and setup. Polish the frets a little bit and clean all the mung off of them. Get the tarnish off. They don't need a whole bunch. They're not in bad condition at all. They're a little sharp, but I think it's acceptable. They're really sharp down here, but you never play down there. Whoever built the guitar, Eastman, he didn't get at the ones on the close-up here. So I might, if I feel adventurous, I might clean those up a little bit. But really, you're never gonna. You're not meant to play this instrument up here. It's the money zone between the 5th and the 12th fret. That's where you're strumming on this one. You follow? Stand by. All right, so off camera, I polished the frets a little bit, cleaned them, oiled the board, tightened up the headstock hardware, the tuning machine bolts. They were all loose. I checked on all of the bushing tightness. When I flip it over, I just want to check the back. These look like Grovers. I'm not 100% sure if they are, but they seem like they are. Point of interest, when I'm working on these floating bridge type guitars, whether it's a hollow body or a semi, whatever, some of them are floating. In other words, once you take the string tension off, they just move. They leave. Now, every once in a while, you'll find a couple of pegs right here and corresponding holes. And that's where the manufacturer has determined that's where the intonation should be. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But you'll notice, for starting purposes only, I know exactly where to go back and put that, and then not guess at it. I just put some blue tape there to show me and guide me. But I already know that's just to get it started. I already know we're going to have to move it back towards the tailpiece a little bit because the intonation is sharp, which means the distance is a little bit too close. We need to widen it up. Let's clean the body. Just a really smooth looking guitar. I'm kind of digging on it. I'm not even a guitar player. I'm running out of something here. I better replenish my supply before the next instrument gets the table. So yeah, just clean it up. Wipe it down. Now is the time to do that. If not now, when? Got the strings off. You follow? It's not in bad condition at all. It's just a little dusty and grungy. You just kind of put a little coating of that stuff, and it pulls off whatever there is. Usually in a quick restring and setup, and then you buff it off, and then nice and smooth, right? And same procedure on the headstock. That stuff is not for open wood grain. There is a product I use that's actually Martin for open wood grain polishing and cleaning. Try to use this stuff on an open grain or even a flat paint surface. It'll make a mess. It won't clean up nicely. Actually, it makes more of a mess than when you started sometimes. I don't believe this guitar to be very old. It's in really good shape. And I know this client well enough now. I've worked on several of his instruments and he keeps them nice for the most part. Do this every time you change your strings. Or ask your guitar tech to do it. Now, if he's not doing it automatically, get a different guitar tech. Oh yeah, that reminds me, I got a loose output jack here. And I think I'm going to pause right now while it's facing me and tighten it up. Because I can. Loose output jack. It's the bane of my existence. Most of them are pretty easy if you have the right tool, which I do. God, if I don't have the right tool, what's wrong with me? And yeah, you're not building a Harley Davidson. You don't have to torque it to 500 foot-pounds. Just get it snug. Just get it snug. That's all it takes. That is all it takes. This little tool, it goes in the output jack right here, and then you tighten it right here, and what it does is it splays open and holds the inside of the output jack from the inside so that you can snug up the nut. It's one of my little tricks. Anybody could have one, just order it. Love it. This guy has got a type. You know, like I have a type. I like dark-haired women with green eyes and bronze skin. Oh wait, we were talking about guitars. He likes hollow body and semi-hollow body guitars, although he has some regular Les Paul type instruments, but it's chambered. Which means most of the wood on the inside of the body was cut away. I guess he likes a lighter instrument. You can't knock him for that. These are not Grovers. I don't know what they are, but if they were Grovers, they'd say Grover right on them. Beautiful. Nice and clean. Easy peasy Japanesey. The next order of business is let's get some strings on it. He's liking the George Benson jazz strings. Flat wounds. This can be tricky. I'm going to show you how I do it. Get back placed where you kind of sort of want to be. And that's why I put the blue tape. So at least I have a starting point, a reference, point of reference. Not crazy about this design. You have to kind of get under there and pull it through. All the same rules apply. You're going to measure to the next machine, the next string peg, bend it, push it through. It's going to live right here. You stop at the bend, and get some tension on it, and be ever so careful on the first one. Do not go all the way to tension yet. Make sure that because this first string is what's going to hold our floating bridge in place while we get the rest of the strings on. We're not going to go to full tension. We're not going to tune it to pitch yet. We're just getting it to where we can hold it. And they do like to move around a fair amount. What in the wide world of sports is going on here? The string is slipping and our bridge is slipping. And that's the fun of floating bridges. That's why you don't ream it down right away, because all it'll do is pull the bridge all the way up. Get it to where it's at least got enough tension where it's holding it semi in place, right? Don't go reaming it down, not just yet. Super expensive strings, so I'm leaving a little bit extra just in case I have to de-string. If something goes wrong, I can pull the strings off, and I have enough here to reuse them and start over. And yeah, sometimes things go wrong. So I'm going to pause there while I get the rest of the strings on, and then we're going to come back and get ready to start doing our setup, which is intonation and string height and what have you, because yeah, we had some really tall string action. So stand by, because this is going to take me a hot minute. It's a little bit tricky getting the strings fished through there, and I just don't want to burn up the entire video, you know, doing that. It's not like doing a regular acoustic. So stand by. All right, let's move into final setup. We got the strings on. Guitar's cleaned. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the board, the frets. Get her tuned up to pitch and stretch, as you hear. Strings need to find their home. Well, it was pretty damn close. All right, yeah, get them up to tension. Stretch a little bit. When I say a little bit, just get them seated in the nut slot, get them seated in the bridge and the saddle. Beautiful. Boy, that thing's got some resonance. Sounds like an open acoustic. I like it. Let's get centered a little bit. The next thing is I want to double check all of our measurements, including intonation. At this point, we could kind of do just to see how far out we are. Totally acceptable. A little sharp. Slightly, and I mean very slightly. Like the ear would never be able to catch it. Guess what? I must have inadvertently moved it back slightly, and I can see just the slightest little ridge in the tape that I put to guide me where to put it during restring, and I've already moved it back that way just enough to catch up our intonation. Yeah. And we're going to call that good because it is dead on. It is dead on. I mean, there's only one string that wasn't perfect, and it's so close that, as I say this all the time, the human ear will never be able to pick it up. God, what a sweet sounding instrument. Okay, let's see where our neck relief is. Now remember, intonation will not change as long as this doesn't move. We can adjust neck relief, we can adjust string height, but that'll never change the intonation unless we move the bridge forward or back. So with different strings, a heavier gauge, but a completely different type of string. All right, let's see where the neck relief is. It's a little tight. Yeah, it's a little tight. So these strings, compared to the strings that we took off of it, even though they're a heavier gauge, they're flat wounds, it's putting a different, not as much tension on it. So we've lost some neck relief, which means we do have to loosen that slightly. I'm going to put maybe just a little bit of a turn on it. Not surprised. I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but it's all part of it. It's all part of it. Gibson style 5/16. I want to loosen it a little bit. We need to put a little bit of relief in it. So to the left. Not even a quarter of a turn. So, as I always say, when you're adjusting your truss rod, your neck relief, small increments. Measure, adjust, retune to pitch and tension. And check it. Check the adjustment that you just made and see if you gained anything or lost anything. That is perfect. That is just kissing. That was a good guess. It's almost like I've done this before. It's almost like I've done it before. Oh boy. Yeah, there's no wood left for that screw. Let's put a little something in there to hold it a little tighter. Not that that thing is going to go anywhere. It has any tension on it, but the screw fell right in the hole. There's nothing there. Oh, I see why. The actual screw hole is right at the end of the route for the truss rod cavity. This should catch it up. Not very clean. Yep. I like it. I grabbed a hold, tightened up. That's just a cover. It doesn't need to be like something with tension on it. I love it. Yep. Where is our string height? Now after that adjustment, of course, our string height is going to be different than it was when we started. It'd probably be higher. It is considerably higher on both sides. That's what happens when you adjust the neck relief and get it to where it's supposed to be. So I need to bring the saddle down on both sides, bass and treble. Is it going to agree with me? Yeah, I think so. This one tried to lock up on me. I think it's got to go down quite a bit more than that. Yeah. It does have Eastman. I'm going to guess standard. I'm going to guess correctly. Who knows? It's got a hex in there. Let's see if I can push it down. It's too loose. And this one isn't going to fit, so it's got to be metric. Yeah. 2.0. No. 2.5. Nope. All right, stand by. I have to find the exact right in-betweener Allen key. Stand by. So, somebody has kind of galled out the Allen key. The Allen fitting. You have to kind of loosen that and then use your tune-o-matic by finger to get it down to where you want it. So loosen, then turn. I'm trying to go down, so I'm turning it clockwise. And then check your adjustment. Never cared for that system. It should just be pretty well. It doesn't need to be locked. Once you get it set, string tension will hold you where you need to be. Yeah. Disappeared the 5/64 line on the bass side, and we're just at 4/64 on the treble side. I'm going to call that where I want to be, and I'm pretty certain after working with this instrument for the last couple of hours that it's going to like that adjustment. It's pretty stout. It's well built. Everything has responded well to adjustment. Tune back to pitch after you make your measurements or adjustments. All right. Yeah, this thing is standing tall. There's off camera, I'm going to go through every note. I'm not going to bore you with that because that's how I can sleep at night, knowing that I checked quite simply the easiest way to make sure you don't have any high frets or low frets or buzzing offenders. So that's it. We've got the intonation set. We went through and cleaned the guitar like we always do. We did get our intonation set totally by accident, because when I strung it, the saddle actually did creep back slightly, and that's where I needed to go. If you refer to the front part of this video, it was a little sharp, and now it's not. It's right where I would like to see it. Which is perfect. Yeah, we're going to live with that. It's an Eastman AR403ce. CE means it's electric. Oh, by the way, we tightened up the output jack. This one's ready to go back to the client, and it's going to play nicely. It's your Uncle Blackjack with 396 Guitars. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, all of your support. Thank you for your comments and questions. I try to read them all. I try to answer them all in a timely fashion. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than I'd like, but happy 4th of July and happy Blue Oyster Cult. We'll talk soon.